Okay, perfect. Okay, that's great. So very quick intro to SafetyPool. This is a scenario database that we just launched from Deepen and WNG University of Warwick. We are both very much involved in anything ASAN related. As you met Jason before, he's the lead for the work package for scenario tagging. And also we both are very much involved in OpenODD and other ASAN standardization activities. The purpose of this demo is just to get you a first-hand overview of why we came up with the scenario tagging piece inside of OpenLabel, and let you basically understand and relate the use case that we are covering mostly with that piece of the format, which is mainly tagging scenarios in a database such as SafetyPool. For your information, SafetyPool is a database that we just announced and released, and it's accessible by organization developing AD and ADAS technologies and stacks, and it contains a very big set of scenarios that we curated. When I say we, I mean WNG and DeepNAI, and around 250,000 scenarios now and growing. And this is really meant to be a community initiative where we highly encourage participation and contribution of new scenarios by the whole automotive world, basically. So if you have the chance, you can just visit the website and submit and sign up to the website to request your access. And as now we are processing the huge amount of application that we got, and we are now getting back to everyone one step at a time. These scenarios that we collect here are organized in some libraries that you can see, and a lot of them are public libraries, so that can be accessed by every organization which is member of the initiative. And actually, since the number of scenarios is growing, as also member organizations are contributing scenarios to get access to new scenarios, there's a whole incentive scheme that we don't want to get into now. But I just want to show you why we need the tagging piece. If I take a scenario here, for example, really a random one. This is a scenario definition that we have into this database that expressed in this scenario description language, and it is very similar to Open Scenario, MSDL, or any other description language, scenario description language that are out there. In order to be able to retrieve this scenario in the database and do also some sort of high-level analytics into it, and basically match it to also maps in the real world, etc., we need to organize scenarios according to tags. So what are tags? So if you see in the scenario definition, we have multiple, the scenario definition covers multiple aspects of the scenario, from the scenery elements, like the type of the road and the mapping infrastructure, to the dynamic elements of what is really happening inside of the scenario in terms of agents, behavior, etc., to the environmental elements, so wind, cloud, precipitation, etc. This scenario description is meant to be executed in simulation platforms. So this is a expression that is simulation platform agnostics, much like Open Scenario 1. And in fact, we will have also Open Scenario files related to the same scenario and Open Drive. But the important piece is that a lot of this information can be compressed into just tags, which are these things that you see here, and then that are associated with the specific scenarios, and that basically convey the highlights of the information, right? So we have tags according to three main dimensions. One is ODD with the scenery and environment, etc. One is behavior. I think my presentation ended for some reasons.
Yep.
Feedback.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Are you seeing it back?
Yes. No, we are back.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So you see that there are ODD dimensions related to the scenery and environmental conditions, but also behavior, a type of tags like drive, away, stop, and also agents and vehicles. And there's also some value ranges associated with the tags. If you have a very big database like this one, you need to search scenarios, right? You need to be able to filter it, to look for specific things inside of the database, to build for multiple reasons. You might want to build your test suite and just group scenarios according to specific criteria that you want to test out. Maybe you're developing a specific function or testing a specific system, etc., or subsystem, and so you really need to be able to search and filter, very well and very efficiently within this whole database of scenarios. So D tags are exactly used like functional to achieve these goals, because if you create, if you have your own list of tags that you can import from an external ontology for your own thing, etc., then you can use it to construct like even complex queries like this. For example, you are interested to look into these libraries that are taken from SafetyPool about specific scenarios that contain T-junctions or Y-junction, which have rainfall intensity of more than 5 millimeters per hour, etc. And you can also say exclude night, so I don't want scenarios that include nighttime, and specify the lane dimension that you're interested in. So if you have this tagging file, so this, let's say, open label scenario tagging piece, you will be able to do it much more efficiently rather than crawling inside each of the scenario files. So if I launch this query now, it should give me back some, a number of scenarios that are matching this criteria, and this matching is done exclusively through this tagging. So this is where the tagging piece has a lot of value to bring in scenario databases, and that's why we are basically we have reserved an entire work package just for this specific use case of scenario tagging. And so, yeah, I believe that this was the demo that helped me in just conveying the use case and the problem to solve using the SafetyPool database that is something we developed for the whole community. So I believe that was it. I don't know, Nico, if we had thought about taking questions right after, or there's still the other demo first?
I mean, we still have time for questions. So are there any questions to any of the previous talks? We can tackle a few of them now. I would say let's give it a few, like 10 minutes or so, if there are any questions, or we will just jump to the next, depending. So are there any questions? You can also use the chat to ask questions if that helps.
Sounds like we've been extremely good at presenting.
Yes, I would say so too. We are awesome. There are no questions. No, nothing is unclear. Perfect.